Hi there. So thanks for that very kind intro. It touched upon DXE, which is a company that some people have heard of, but not everybody. So I thought I'd start out by just briefly introducing the company to give you an idea of the things that we do, which will set the scene for what we've been doing in terms of this DevOps Dojo. So at DXE, we run the mission critical IT systems for thousands of companies across the planet. And we talk about ourselves as a full stack services company. So that's represented here. And so on the right hand face, it's showing the types of services that we do. So IT outsourcing, modern workplace, cloud and security, applications, and then finally analytics and engineering. And then on the left face, it's going through all of the industries that we serve. And there's really too many for me to spend time running through right now, but you can see there's a whole range of industries there. Just to kind of call out some of the things about scale, the number of employees that we've got worldwide is over 138,000. And in our delivery organization, which was the target for a lot of this DevOps Dojo training that we've been developing, that's over 100,000 employees. And then looking at the applications area that I now focus on, 65,000 application professionals. So we've got a lot of people to do upskilling with, and that's become a huge challenge for us. So I want to briefly talk through the history of the dojo. And we started out in 2016 with an infrastructure as code workshop. So this was something that was based in our enterprise GitHub, and it was just 3 modules. So we were getting people through doing their first pull request using GitHub. They were doing their first playbook on a config management tool and building their first CI and CD pipelines using Jenkins. And I had a team of people going all over the planet delivering these workshops. They would typically take about half a day. And it was designed to be viral as well, so that people who'd taken the workshop could go back and teach another one with their colleagues. And at the end of the year, we'd had something north of 1,000 people had gone through that workshop, which in one way was great. But if we looked at the overall size of the challenge, kind of getting tens of thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people through the workshop, it was a little bit too much. It was going to take too many lifetimes for us to get there. So in 2017, we took that infrastructure as code workshop and turned it into our first online DevOps dojo. So we built this on top of a platform called Katacoda. It was right at the start of 2017. I was at the Monkey Grower event run by the Red Monk analysts and bumped into Luke Marsden there, who was at Weaveworks at the time. And he showed me the samples and examples and demos that he'd built to show off what Weaveworks was doing using Katacoda. And I kind of saw that and thought, wow, this is going to be the thing that'll let me take this workshop and make it web scale. So we took the workshop and put it onto Katacoda, and that then allowed us to address what's subsequently become 28,000 people across the organization. Then 2018, an inner source team had started to form around this, and they had lots of plans about more advanced topics to address. And so from the white belt, we grew the yellow belt, and there were so many modules that the team wanted to build. We split it down into different stripes. So on our internal learning management system, there's a yellow belt stripe 1, a yellow belt stripe 2. Then later on, they also had some ideas about doing different types of dojo. So we've built things like the product management dojo, which is intended to help people who've traditionally been in project management roles think about the difference of doing product management. And then we'd always planned to do this, and we finally got there this year. We've taken some of the modules out of Yellow Belt and turned those into our open source online DevOps Dojo. And that's one of the modules I'm going to be walking through today. So you might be wondering, where can I find the dojo? And I'll post these links into the discussions as soon as I'm done with this. But the easiest way is simply to search for DXE Online DevOps Dojo. That should turn up at least one of these links. And so I'm going to be diving into the homepage in just a moment, which is there on GitHub Pages. And you can see also links there to the source code that's running on the Katacoda platform, and then the source for the GitHub Pages presenting the environment that we've wrapped around that. When you get there, you're going to see a web page that looks something like this. And so it's introducing the storyline behind the dojo. So we do a lot of stuff with continuous delivery pipelines, and those pipelines need to be built around applications. And so for that, we've used the Spring Pet Clinic application because it gives us a sort of flexible and well battle-tested sample app that we can do interesting things with. But to complement that, we've built a cast of characters and a storyline about the pet clinic and the people that are working there. And you can see here, we've got a cast of characters that's inspired by Gene Kim's Phoenix project and Unicorn project, with Charlie the CEO, Chun the coach, Harlow the product manager, Brenda the business, Hal the hacker, Serena the security officer, and Adam the system administrator, etc. And that list of characters carries on. And then finally, we get to the modules themselves. So it begins with a story in setup, and that is all about getting the Pet Clinic app into your own GitHub user so that you can start doing things with it, and also setting up the bot that's going to be used as part of the version control module. So I'm now going to jump into a screen share and get to the version control module itself. And so I'm going to launch Git version control module, and that tab is now going to take me into the Katacoda platform. And all of the Katacoda modules begin with a splash screen like this. You can see that the estimated time for running this module is 30 minutes. As I glance at the clock, I've only got about 13 minutes left for my slot, so this is going to be a bit of a speed run. So I'm going to hit the Start Scenario button here, and that's taking me into the Katacoda platform. And what you can see is on the left-hand side, I've got a storyline, which is telling me what's going on. And then on the right-hand side, I've got a shell where I can actually run commands. And one of the things that's useful here is this is a real live container-based environment. So people can come here and ski off-piste from the modules and try things out in the safety of the training environment, should they want to do that. I'm going to stick for the script for the time being. And so here the script's explaining the sort of scene set on why some changes need to be made and why Git is being used to track them, and GitHub is being used for the collaboration around that. And so it's telling me that the team's choosing a branching model. And if I press continue, it's going to take me then into the section of the storyline where I can start actually interacting with the environment. So we begin with this preparation script, and that takes me into a place where it's asking for me to paste in a GitHub token. I've just added a -s there so I can paste that in without it being echoed to the screen, because we don't want the GitHub personal access token to be shared during a demo. But normally, it would be probably not too much of a problem for that to be echoed on the screen there. You can see as well that my editor at the top of the screen has sprung to life here as the Pet Clinic repo has been copied into place. And I'm going to be using that in just a moment to make some changes to the Pet Clinic application. So we're now getting into the user story, and it's starting to give me some steps. And that user story is in GitHub issues, so we could go and take a look at that. But following the steps that are being outlined here, we begin by getting into that Pet Clinic repo. And I could type that out manually, but Katacoda gives me the lazy option of just clicking on the button, and that's going to run the command there for me. And then I can do the same to check out a branch, which I'm going to call US Horse 1. And it's now time to make some changes. So it's telling me to navigate into this source, main, resources, database, HSQL, and the data SQL. And I then need to go to line 23 and add an extra line. So let's do that. So I've added the text for horse, and I've put the different index there for it. And that's all set to go. So if I now run git branch, I can see that I'm on the US1 horse branch. And if I run git status, I can see that I've modified the file. So there's a live update happening from that editor above the terminal. So the change is made, but I now need to add it, commit it, and push it. So the usual procedure here, I'll do a git add. I can then do git status again and see that I've got the modified turned green. I'm now going to do a git commit, adding a comment that I've added support for horses in the database. So that's happened. And then finally, I'm going to do a push, and that's going to then get it up into GitHub where I can switch over and start doing some collaboration around that. So this is a really basic introduction, but kind of takes us past what we were originally doing in White Belt, because at this stage, we're now getting into more of a collaborative interaction with the bot, rather than people just merging their own pull requests, which is what we'd originally done. So now I'm at the stage to do a pull request, and it's telling me to go into GitHub and into my pet clinic repo. Well, I left that open earlier on, and I can see that it's all automatically picked up that I've just pushed a change. So let's take that into a pull request. I'm just going to accept the defaults here and create that pull request. And sort of normal stuff happening here in terms of mergeability. But I'm not going to just click merge there because the storyline has us going somewhere else. So we're simulating peer review here with the bot. And so what I need to do is ask Paolo, the product manager, if he can do that peer review. So let's take that and paste it in. And I didn't get the copy there. Try again. All right, let's just do it the manual way. Okay, so Paolo's come straight back to me and said that it's all looking good on the horse, but they want to add pony to it as well. So I need to go and make some more changes. And so let's jump back into the editor here, and I can make that change. All right, so that's the changes made. And as before, we can do git status. We can add the file, do a commit saying that we're taking Paolo's comments into account, and then push that back up. And let's ask Paolo if he's good with the pony being added. So that's already been pushed, and let's see if that does it for us. And I might not have quite got the language right there, so I need to say, can you check now? And he's done the looks good to me and is saying that he's merging the pull request, and we can see that the bot has taken care of that merge. So that takes us pretty much to the end of the interactive parts of the module. We kind of close out here by saying that the user story is ongoing, and there's more still to be done with the underlying issues. If I glance at my third screen, I can see emails popping in about that merge has already taken place. And I could continue now, and it's giving me the congratulations splash screen and inviting me to carry on with Dojo. So at this stage, I'm going to go back to my slides and jump out of the screen share. Now, one of the things that happens quite frequently is people run into trouble as they're going through the modules, and that can be problems with the underlying platform. It can be issues with just their browser or something like that, and it can sometimes be, especially with Jenkins, issues around plugins having drifted away from behavior that we're expecting. So we've got the Get Help button that people can use. And when they press that, that's taking them into GitHub issues, where we've got, as you can see, a pre-populated form that's allowing people to tell us about what they see going wrong, how we can reproduce that, and what they're expecting to be different, and maybe even add in some screenshots. So anybody trying this out, if you have any problems with it, then please feel free to raise an issue. The original inner source team that developed this internally is kind of now on the hook for answering these issues and dealing with the pull requests, which they're sort of long accustomed to now, because that's the exact same process that we've been using for the internal Dojo modules. So I kind of close out now with our call to action. And it's really three parts. The first part of the call to action is please try the Dojo. It's been open sourced so that it's there for everybody in the community to use. We did that because we thought it was something that was going to be useful to our customers and our partners, but more broadly to the DevOps community. So please tell other people if you like it. And if you find problems, then please raise an issue with us if you don't like it. Tell us what could be made better. The second part of the call to action is to please contribute. So we're happy to take pull requests. This is one of the things that's really helped us polish up the modules as we've been using the platform internally. Is people spot things that they'd like to improve, and they let us know about it through the medium of pull request. And some folk sort of early on in our journey were coming along to the dojo, and often they'd been pushed by the manager to do it, and thought that the whole thing was a waste of their time. And as soon as they got involved with it, they were kind of, okay, I can see the point of this now, but I kind of hate these bits, or this thing could be made better. And so, many of those people contributed internally, and we did that through their PRs. But a lot of them also became part of the inner source community that's helped us make this better and broadened out the range of modules that we had. Then finally, if you think something like this is going to be useful to you, but you want it to be different, then feel free to fork it. We chose the Mozilla Public License version 2 because we didn't want a super liberal license that was going to allow the content that we've got here to be just taken by our competitors and blatantly ripped off. So we just wanted a license that made sure that DXE had some kind of acknowledgement for originally creating these. But we really do hope that it's useful to other organizations, and they can potentially build that around their own tool chains. So we've originally done this with our enterprise GitHub and some of our practices around that, and our own use of Jenkins and some of the associated tools. But we're moving some of our own stuff to GitHub Actions and making changes there. And we understand that other orgs have kind of different approaches to doing stuff. And so part of what we kind of expect people to doing with folks is adapting to the different tool chains that they prefer within those organizations. All right, then. Well, thank you very much for your time.